Welcome to Biblioteca Digital PITS Conversaciones. In this series, we will explore the mission of the library of fostering academic, theological, digital, and cultural literacies in ministerial and theological education. We hope to provide you with a space to reflect on questions and ideas that will inspire your work as educators and learners. Our second episode is dedicated to the topic of digital fluency. One of the library's mission is to help you understand digital tools in the classroom, ministry, and everyday life. According to the Aspen Institute, 57% of Latinos lack the digital skills for success in the workplace. This digital divide also affects the ministry in the information society. What can we do about it? To discuss these issues, we have invited two professors experts on this topic, Karina Hernández and Israel Díaz. Karina Hernández is Assistant Dean of the Division of Digital Fluency and Innovation at Austin Community College in Austin, Texas. Her work is focused on the development of initiatives that promote academic achievement through micro-credentials in digital and professional skills. Israel Díaz is Senior Instructional Designer of Instructional Content at La Mesa Academy for Theological Studies and the Office of Digital Learning at Candler School of Theology. His work focuses on the use of digital tools in religious education and ministry. Biblioteca Digital PIS offers you a variety of resources to continue to explore this topic. Now, I invite you to listen and respond to this conversation by writing us to Biblioteca Digital PIS at emory.edu. Enjoy this conversation.
Well, Dr. Hernandez, it's a pleasure to be here with you and to have this conversation about digital fluency that is so important, not only for our Latinx community, but also for our ecclesial communities as well. So thank you for being here with me. In your current role as Associate Dean in the Digital Fluency and Innovation Division at Austin Community College, given that role, could you describe what digital fluency is and how does it differ from digital literacy?
Sure. Thank you for having me, Israel. It's my pleasure to be here with you all. Digital fluency goes beyond digital literacy. While digital literacy is about having the foundational skills to use technology, such as navigating the internet, using email, or working with basic software, digital fluency is about adapting, creating, and problem solving in digital spaces. A digital fluent person doesn't just consume technology. They understand how to use it strategically to achieve their goals, whether at work or in their education or in their community engagement. So digital fluency skills will be things like evaluating online information critically or leveraging digital tools for collaboration, and even creating content like designing a website or coding an application, or just effectively communicating ideas using digital platforms.
Oh, that's excellent. I really appreciate that distinction because it seems that it's going simply from just basic understanding and knowledge to a kind of critical thinking in theological spaces. We call it conscientization, and in education time also following Paulo Freire. So it's this ability of being able to use technology, but also creatively to create and transform spaces.
Yes.
So given that, how do you see the importance of digital fluency, in particular with what you're suggesting for Austin Community College, creating these equitable academic and career outcomes?
So digital fluency is critical because technology shapes the access that we can have to education, to career opportunities, and to community engagement. So the ability to use digital tools can make the difference between someone advancing in their career or being left behind in an increasingly digital economy. So for Latin communities, digital fluency is a key equity issue, really, Many of our communities still face the digital divide, not just in terms of access to technology, but also in the opportunities to develop advanced digital skills. Without those skills, we risk being consumers rather than creators of digital content. However, when we embed digital fluency into educational spaces and career pathways, we open doors from our Latin community to step into high-paying careers. And this is particularly important because industries are looking not only for technical skills and that you have no technical know-how, but also those soft skills that are tied into critical thinking, problem solving, and digital adaptability. So digital fluency is a way to empower our Latin community to be active participants in shaping their future, whether it is in their academia or professionally, or even in their spiritual communities.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate what you're suggesting about digital fluency. I can really relate to that because as an instructional designer at Kenneth School of Theology and the Metz Academy for Theological Studies, that is something we want to be able to do with our digital technologies, not just consume it, but to be conscious about what it's doing for us and how can we be able to be critical about how we use it in our pedagogies and in our ministries. And you mentioned also the personal and ecclesial elements. You were born and raised in Venezuela and then migrated to the United States. So from this experience, how do you see digital fluency contributing to the personal growth of those who are using it?
My experience as an immigrant has deeply shaped my understanding of digital fluency as a tool not only for personal empowerment, but also for adaptability and connection. So when I moved to the USA, I had to navigate not just a new country, but a new language, culture, and an educational system. So digital tools became that bridge for me that helped me learn, communicate, and access opportunities I might not have had otherwise. So for many immigrants, digital fluency is just more than just a career skill. It's a lifeline, really. It allows us to stay connected to our roots while adapting to a new reality. It helps us access education, apply for jobs, learn new skills, and even advocate for ourselves and our communities. So beyond these practical applications, digital fluency also fosters personal growth, encourage creativity, lifelong learning, and creative expressions. And all of that allows us to tell our stories, to build networks, and to strengthen our own identity in a new culture that we are adopting.
That's an excellent point. I can see the value of this idea of being able to tell our stories, right? And to be able to share that. And digital fluency also calls me to be conscious of how I tell my story and what story do I tell,
Yes.
right? So clearly this is going to have impact also for family life. It's going to have impact for how we relate to people.
Yes.
And you also shared that you were a catechist.
Yes.
And so how do you see this digital fluency shaping communal life and church life, right? Ministries, involvement in the church.
Okay. So church and church ministries have always been at the center of that community guidance and spiritual formation. But as society evolves, we also need to adapt in the ways we connect and evangelize. So digital fluency is not about replacing faith in any form or shape with technology. It's about expanding its reach and their impact. So what are some things that we gain with digital fluency in those spaces? Churches can reach to people who may not physically be able to attend due either to distance, work schedules, or disabilities. The social media, the podcasts, and the digital storytelling allow faith leaders to meet people where they are, especially our younger generations. And online catechesis, Bible studies, and faith discussions can enrich spiritual learning beyond Sunday services. So it really fosters deeper connections to create a more vibrant community. So what are the things that we lost? Well, the physical presence and the communal atmosphere of our in-person gathering is sometimes very challenging to replicate in online platforms. Mm-hmm. And also, there might be a risk of shallow engagement, which means people will be more passive consumers rather than being active participating in our community life. But overall, I think the key is balance. Digital fluency should enhance, not replace traditional faith practices. So it's a way to strengthen our community bonds, to expand our reach, and to ensure the Latin faith tradition continue to thrive in a digital world.
Yes, I think that's a value that you're able to now, in a way, be more universal, right?
Yes.
To expand boundaries of what church is. But on the flip side to that, it's also the way of how we do this digital, use the digital tools within a sort of pastoral plan, so that it doesn't just become, the shallow consumption or simply a superficial kind of faith that's passive.
Yes, that's correct.
So giving all this value to digital fluency and being able to help church life and family life and being able to advance careers, let's talk a little bit about how to cultivate it. And at Austin Community College, you offer 16 micro-credentials to help learners build digital fluency. Can you describe what the micro-credentials are and how they can help build that digital fluency?
Sure. So micro-credentials are short and focused learning experiences designed to help learners develop specific skills quickly and effectively. So unlike traditional degree programs, micro-credentials allow individuals to gain practical in-demand skills in a flexible format. It could be hybrid, it could be online or in-person instruction. So at Austin Community College, our 16 micro-credentials focus on digital fluency and workforce readiness, covering areas such as computer skills, data analytics, AI, web development. So these micro-credentials help learners develop hands-on experience, earn industry-recognized credentials, stack skills. And one thing that we have done is our micro-credentials stack into micro-certificates that lead to credits in courses in the computer science division, and that can eventually build up into your associate or into a certificate or into your bachelor degree. So for our Latin communities, this is particularly a powerful tool for economic mobility, allowing learners to build their digital fluency in a low-risk, high-reward way, making them more competitive in the job market.
So that's a great opportunity to be able to find the space of time and commitment to be able to get digital fluency. So it's not out of reach, is what I hear. Because you can either commit full by becoming a full-time student, or you can take it, separately in chunks and see how it goes along the way and build on one. That's excellent. So that sort of gets us to this question, right? If it's accessible, if it's available in ways that can be accessed different ways for different kinds of people, what advice do you have for those who are interested in starting? And what would you say to those that are hesitant about engaging in digital fluency?
So for those interested in starting, my advice is start with something that interests you. Digital fluency isn't just about technical jobs. It applies to every career, and that's the beauty of it. You can explore digital skills related to your field, to your hobbies, or your faith community. Also, take small but intentional steps. You don't have to master everything at once. You can start with one micro-credential or maybe a free online course, or even just trying digital tools like Google Docs, Canva, or ChatGPT, for example. And another thing that we noticed as we were developing this micro-credential is that learning is easier when you have a support. So whether through a course, a mentor, or a group that shares your interests, that helps you complete and fulfill this pathway of micro-credentials or digital fluency development even better. For those hesitant to engage, I perfectly understand you. Technology can be overwhelming sometimes, and there's often that fear of making mistakes. So my advice for those is you don't need to be an expert. Just be curious. Remember that digital tools are meant to serve you. Technology should not work for you. Should work for you, not the other way around. So I start with tools that make it easier, like maybe learning just to use a budgeting app or creating an online calendar or just using digital translation tools for bilingual communication. You are more digital fluent than you may think. If you are already using smartphones or sending emails or navigating social media, you already have a foundation. You just need to build on it. So the digital world is here to stay, and being fluency is just mean you are having more control over the opportunities, your voice, and your future. So it's never too late to start.
I appreciate those points. I think that you made as they say in Spanish, un hincapié, right? That has to be made
yes.
on the fact that digital tools and digital world is here to stay, right? And so how do we do that? And the entry point of finding out a way of something that resonates with you or that can really be of immediate support is a great place to start because you can see the rewards itself as a sense of self-interest to say, to want to get that and see the rewards quickly. So I appreciate that. Are there any final thoughts that you would like to share with the audience?
I think that at the heart of digital fluency, the purpose is that we can fully participate in society and ensure that our voices, our traditions, and our contributions are not just preserved, but amplified. So it's never too late to get started. Do not be afraid to jump into developing those digital fluency skills. There are many resources and support systems that you can leverage. So go for it.
Biblioteca Digital Peace is a collaborative project between Peace Theology Library and the Association for Hispanic Theological Education. You can find us at peace.tl/BT. See you next time.